Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Addiction Unfiltered show, where the real meets the raw, where we tell it all, where we demystify addiction. Yeah. So, what are we doing today, Izzy?
So, first of all, I am Isabella, a recovering alcoholic.
And I'm Laura, a recovering alcoholic. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. And today we have an episode with a guest, a very special guest. We are going to be letting her tell you her story, her experience, and sharing yet another face of this thing we're calling addiction and trying to demystify for you. So we have with us today Pamela, who is a recovering addict, and she's also the CEO and founder of Sunflower Meadows, and a counselor by profession. But that's literally send me your profile introduction. Is there anything else you want to add?
Thank you, Izzy. Nice to be here. Thanks, Laura. I'm really grateful and very happy to be here today on Unfiltered.
Demystify.
Addiction. Yeah. So apart from what Izzy glammed me up to be, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm somebody's fiancée.
Hey, congratulations, Pamela. I see.
Yeah.
No wonder you're tapping your finger.
Yes.
So and I'm a sister and a really active community member. I really like, and a church member too. I really like service. I like being in the middle of things and making things move. So I'm really happy that I'm here to make a difference.
We're really excited to have you here.
So
Thank
excited.
you. And I think I only told you this last week. So thank you so much for making the time.
Not at all. Anytime.
So, I can't wait for us to delve into your story, to hear it. I've actually not heard it before, I've not heard it in detail. So I can't wait for Izzy and the rest of us, the rest of you listening in, to hear your story. So take us through it. Start from wherever you'd like and everything. But I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Just the full circle, all the way to where you are today.
Okay. So, like I said, my name is Pamela. I'm a recovering addict. My journey begins when I was in high school. I think it was high school. High school there was a lot of peer pressure. There was a lot of wanting to fit in. There was a lot of everybody wants to be in a certain group. And being a daughter who my dad was an ambassador, so I never really had a firm foundation. As soon as I got used to people, he's being moved to another place. As soon as I get used to people, he's moving. And I was the youngest at that time. And I'm like, when will I ever I can't be all the time. My sisters were getting into their own selves, their own different things that they were doing, and I was left behind. So I was like, I really need to find a way of fitting in. So when my mom decided to move back to Uganda and said that, you know what? I'm tired of
traveling on your own.
Do the traveling on your own, and us we are here. So we start. So I go to Buganda Road Primary School, finish in Buganda Road Primary School, then go to high school. So I first go to Makerere High. Now when I'm in Makerere College, sorry. I go to Makerere College, of course, everybody's this, everybody's that, who's this girl, who's this, and because I hadn't been anywhere and our family hadn't been known so much, so they're like, who are these new people? And so I joined a certain group of people whereby they're the hip people in school. I always wanted to be that hip.
Clique.
I wanted to be the cool clique. So of course in that there's partying, there's this party here, there's this party here. And remember, when dad's not around, mom's more liberal. She's like, nah, you go do this.
Yeah.
But be careful. And being in a country. I'm free. My sisters were all in boarding school, so I was the only one at home. So I was like, I'm free. No one is looking. You know, when you're always being looked onto, that you're going to make a mistake. I was so conscious. I was such a conscious young girl. I couldn't even pick out a dress for myself. I had to always ask for another person's opinion about anything, everything. I was so jittery all the time. I was so scared that I was going to make a mistake. So I would always hold my breath. So when I'm with these people, they're letting me be. They're saying, okay. So I'm like, oh, let's do this. Let's do that. Try this. Okay, let me try that. So I got into trying out different drinks, alcohol. And I thought it was just a phase. But you see, addiction is so funny. You can be 7 people or 10 people in a room, and they put alcohol in that room. And only one person comes out an addict. The rest have drunk, but they go.
Their lives continue.
Their lives continue. They get married.
For them, it is a phase.
Things. But for you, it becomes a stronghold. It holds you down that you can't operate or do anything.
What we've been saying.
You just say that, you know what, I can't do this without this. And because you're like, everybody does it, because you started out with everyone. So you're like, even Izzy does it. Even Laura does it.
We were all there. We all got drunk. We all did that short.
If Izzy and Laura can get married, I'll get married. So time is going. So you're like, Laura comes back from maybe wherever she's been, London, wherever, she's done her education, and when she comes back and she's still your friend, but she's like saying, Tom, you're changing. And you're like,
or maybe your life doesn't seem to be.
I'm kind of not moving at the pace that we are moving. And it only takes loyal friends to be like, to carry for so long. Others be like, man,
can't.
Of course, like maybe their husbands are like that. The chick is a bad company, or then you find yourself drifting apart because first of all you're not speaking the same language, so you're like,
also you start feeling judged when you're with these ones. So.
And then so I started to isolate. I started now seeing my college school friends were not. I used to think that time, I told myself this lie for the longest time, that they don't fit in my life. Yet it was me.
The other way around.
Because you want to always be the one. You want to be the star of the movie. So you're like, the ones who are the bad people, let me drop them. Yet they actually had dropped me. They had actually dropped me. And it took me a long time to accept that fact. That they are the ones who actually moved on, because it was evident. And when I kept telling my sisters that, no, me, I'm the one who told those guys, me, I can't even, those guys, they're too, But the truth be told, now that I'm in recovery, I realize that it's me who was isolating. It's me who they had dropped and left me all alone, and I had a resentment for them. I had a resentment for them because I was like, how can you leave me in this rut all by myself for the longest time? For the longest time. Because after high school, of course, I went to university, same story. And as I start with alcohol, I continue to deeper and deeper drugs. Deeper drugs and deeper dingy places, because now of course everyone is like, you're too much. Everyone is like, you're too much. But it's the drugs and the addiction that's taking you to find that sense of belonging that you just can't get a grip on it.
Doing this now comes the shame,
of
and
course,
isolation, and now no one is holding you accountable because there's no one that close.
And everybody is just like, and remember being born in with an ambassador's homestead, we were tightly knit. But now Mama's come back to Uganda, everybody's on their own. So now you can't cling on to sisters because they're also dating.
They have their own lives.
They have their friends, they've made their cocoons. you can't fit in, and I really like, even now I see myself so many times I can't hang out so much with my peers because I find them like, especially the boys, I find them that like, I don't know what they're talking about because my mind has been so in an adult kind of mindset, so I was like, these guys, I will be so slow. And it's really bad because that means I put myself at a certain level of importance, yet I shouldn't have, because now their false pride comes in.
What's that you called it? The grandiose.
Yeah, right? the false, the delusion of grandiose. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now these guys who can help you because they're in your mindset, because they're in the same group, they can easily say, oh, there's this job here, there's this gig here, but because you feel you deserve better, you're entitled, you become entitled, and you think that, I'm not going to hang out with these guys, they know nothing. Yet, these guys are steadily moving at a pace on life's terms.
Yeah.
But me, I'm moving not on life's terms. Because I'm in a group that I don't belong, but I'm fighting. I'm fighting it out. With them. So I'm like, so it gets so nasty. And the time when it was so bad is when I found myself in Wandega, a place called Chivulu.
Sounds very dingy.
Surrounded behind the white flats, Makere, the gate. Then there are these white flats. Then down there in the valley, before you come up to Aga Khan. Before you come up to Aga Khan, now that Karali, LDC is here. I'll never forget that place. I can even when I close my eyes, I can tell you that this road, this one, because.
How long ago was this?
It was like 5 years ago.
Okay. So
no,
what
5 years ago is COVID. You know I'm older. We started.
Guys, don't start doing math.
No. 5 years ago was COVID. 5 years ago was COVID.
So I was like in this place, Makere Chivulu.
Yes. What was
surrounded by all these people
that do what?
Nothing.
That do nothing.
They do.
So is this what they call? Is this the ghetto?
Yes.
Do you know how to just?
We call it the den.
That's even
it's
worse.
Yeah, it sounds
surrounded by all these people. Others are doing this kind of drugs. Others are doing this kind. And I found myself smacked in the middle. And they were looking. Some of them would ask me, "What are you doing here?"
Because you didn't look like you belonged.
And I'm there. I'm really, really tired, Laura. I'm tired, but I don't know how
to stop.
To just get out of it. I was so tired that it could show on my face.
Yeah.
I had even started walking tiredly. Because
just looking tired.
I was so tired. So tired of
being
everything. Yes. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at all these guys, they're giving me this, they're saying, try this one. I'm still trying to look for that kind of thing that maybe this one will help, this one will hack it, this one will take away the pain, this one will take away the resentment, this one will take away. I didn't even know what resentment was by the way.
I learned resentment.
Even me, I learned it in rehab.
I learned resentment.
The true meaning of it.
Because
there was a therapist that literally had to explain to our group what resentment was, because he asked what is resentment, and full-grown adults sat there and blinked at him.
Because we never knew.
Anger, this, that. People have their own definitions. But allow me to take you back. Since this is addiction unfiltered, right? You keep talking about how it progressed from just being alcohol to other drugs and this and that. And now because we're unpacking what addiction is, what is involved in it exactly, are you okay with sharing with us what drugs these were?
Oh, yeah. There was, I don't know, but I don't even know if anybody would even know the drugs that, there's so many drugs on the street.
Please share.
There's so many drugs on the street. And I think I can try, I tried I tried most of them, but some just, there's always that thing of like preference.
Yes.
And you're
What's
like,
your
this one doesn't work
DOC?
for me.
Yeah, drug of choice.
This one doesn't work for me. This and that. But I tried Mairunji.
That is weed.
No, that is
Mairunji.
Mira.
Oh, that's Mira.
Yeah, that's the one they chew. I tried that. I tried weed, of course. I think everybody's tried weed. So I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then I tried heroin. I tried crack. And then I tried codeine, the syrup. And I was like, who does codeine anyway?
The codeine part shocked when I learned about.
It was weird. I also tried it. The Nigerian guy, mixed it and said, now try it. This one will get you. But it was just wasting my time. So I moved between weed, Mira, a little bit of crack there, but then crack, because of it's really expensive. I wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything. I was just there. So I trickled down back to alcohol, which I could manage because it was the beginning. I didn't really smoke cigarettes. That's the weirdest thing. Most people ask me that, did you smoke cigarettes? And I'm like, no, I didn't really smoke cigarettes. On the occasion, someone comes and is like, it's a real dry day. And you're like, Bana, it's innocent. Just drink like a cigarette, I do it. But cigarettes were not really a big deal for me. And I guess that's why in recovery, I always tell people that it is also something that you need to address, because I've seen people smoking cigarettes and cigarettes take their lives completely, and they're stuck on cigarettes.
I think why cigarettes is not looked at as a danger. Okay, you see, with addiction, the unmanageability, the powerlessness, and all that. I think people look at cigarettes, as in tobacco cigarettes, as it doesn't make your life unmanageable. In terms of you can still smoke and go to work, it doesn't make you get car accidents, it doesn't make you this, it doesn't, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's how they look at it. Because remember when we talked about how in the States, a lot of rehabs, not just in the States, in several places, they actually allow people to smoke. I used to tell people, like, what I knew about AA meetings, like in the movies, is a lot of smoke and a lot of coffee. Like those two. Anyway. Yeah. So I was just like,
but I like that you address the cigarettes, because I know people who have actually had to seek treatment, like rehabilitation treatment for the cigarettes, because it had now affected their entire, like, their health. People who have, and not even cancer, but literally they were starting to get other health problems with other organs, not the lung cancer that everyone associates with cigarette smoking, but things like having, I don't know, toxicity in the body or the blood or something like this. So it's.
But not only that, first of all, it's an antisocial behavior. It's an antisocial behavior. It interferes with all dimensions of your life. Financially, let's talk about the financial bit of it all.
It's expensive,
Emotionally, spiritually, and physically also. Because now you can't run, someone can't run from this place to the other place without having to breathe like 10 times over. So it is, and I believe that let us not downplay these substances that we use. Because these substances that we use, even pharmaceutical drugs, this codeine that I'm talking about, it's a pharmaceutical drug. You get it off the counter, and just because in our country we're not so strict about prescription drugs, and people can just go and say I'm Jagala Panadol and not, but people are addicted to Panadol, Tramadol, all the dolls, they are really addicted to the dolls, and then like, it's just Panadol. Our parents used to say, we're Panadol. Parents, of course, they would be like, just take a Panadol, but they don't know addiction is not what we use. It's not what we use, because we have an addictive nature, we always seek for something to make our, it's actually when we seek out something, it's a solution to us.
Yeah.
It's something we are trying to
Instant
solve, and we're looking for a solution like any other human being.
Yeah.
We are built as we problem solve.
Yeah. But
Like
how we problem solve is dangerous.
It's where the addict lies.
Yeah.
That's where the addict is put together.
Yeah.
Because now, if I'm stuck in a room, how will I solve my problem if I'm claustrophobic?
Yes.
I will start to
How do I
bang
take
the
that
door.
edge?
I'll start banging the door and this. I'll scream. I'll become hysterical and all that stuff. Then someone else will come in and be like, "But why are you acting up?
Yeah.
I was going to come and open for you the door. Then I don't like that thing." Then to calm me down, I'll look. Someone will run, like you put alcohol, weed, whatever drugs are there, and water. Someone will run for water. Another one will run for weed. Another one will run. So we all have different kinds of ways we deal with what. But there are solutions to us. All of them are solutions to us. So where I become an addict now, me Pamela, is I was always looking for a solution of how can I fit in? Who am I? I always used to ask myself, and my auntie, when I was younger in Nairobi, she reminded me recently that she said that you always used to sing this song when you were a little girl. This song. I wanna know where love is. I want you to show me. I should ask me, what, you're such a young girl, why would you sing that song? And I think in my heart,
you
I really
truly
just
wanted to know and someone to show you.
And show me what is this love thing that I just don't know, because
I resonate.
I really, really just want to know why certain things just, people are mean. I want to know why people are so mean. I want to know why things are just people can't just do something because they love to do it naturally. They always have to have a hidden agenda. They always have to have something behind that.
Sister girl, I see you.
It's always just yes.
No, you found love in yourself first. Yourself first.
So, I always used to wonder what is this thing that people.
And the confidence that it also gave you, because you shared about how you were always afraid and needed somebody to like basically affirm every decision.
Yes.
All those substances, the one thing they're gonna give you immediately is that false confidence, false bravado. All of a sudden you're this most confident person.
Exactly. And then you start to hold on to that and you say, maybe this is the love.
And
maybe this is
what is making me this way. I need it to be this way.
To continue to actually be bold enough and
look at me owning my life because of the substance, when actually the substance is just about to own your whole life.
You are right.
Pam, do you want to go back to, because a lot of this is really about the insanity of addiction, like all the things that we did. Back to Chivulu?
Yes, of course, yes.
So
now I'm there in the middle of it all and I'm looking and I just can't get myself out of that. I know it's wrong and I'm sure deep down in my heart but I kept telling myself, this is not the end. This is not the end. This is not the end. This one time police came and raided and I just sat.
No self.
I just sat and I said, if they are to take me, at least let them take me and I'm out of this place. But they just said, go call us, I'm like, they just left me there and then went and looked for the other guys who were running around. They were looking for a gun. A gun that had gotten lost from police. You see the dangerous.
The situation.
Then you're wondering, now in case that gun had killed somebody, they would have taken all of us. And said that, tell us, you know where the gun is from and what. And I found myself in situations, there's a time when there's a guy who had fought with some Indian guy and taken his stuff, and then he ran threw the stuff on me, and then he went away. Then people are running looking for the guy, and I'm confused, and everybody's just like, Panange, you girl, do you know that they could have beaten you, saying that you're the one who stole the things? And I'm like, I did not care.
The depression starts to
Yeah.
At some point you wanted them to find you and beat you and take you to jail.
I think
But that was
just
like the parts of your
tired.
brain, I think, that was starting to want help, but you just didn't know what that help looked like or what it could, like, what to do.
I
But you
was just
needed
like,
something
you
to
know,
change.
I just need something to change. I can't keep same day,
You needed
looking
something
at
to
the
help you
same thing every single day. I needed something to change.
So how did you eventually get out of that? How did you make your way out of that?
Oh, I have friends.
Because clearly they refused to arrest you.
No, they refused to beat
So
you.
your friends?
So I
Tell
have
us about that.
friends. Now, that's the beauty of having a support group like AA. AA is full of amazing people. And there's a friend of mine. He was looking for me everywhere, saying, "But this chick, Pam is in danger, you guys." Because we used to use with him at Kisimenti, but he managed to get into the program earlier. And then after getting into the program, he you know how it is when you get into the program, you start doing service like this.
Yeah.
So you remember that we had this person, this person was my person on what. And that's when I say that the hand of God always picks out those he believes can forward his mission. So he's called Derek. Derek comes and goes to my parents and says, "You guys, this is that. We have to get this chick out. Where is she? We don't know and know where she is. What?" Then he's like, "I'll find out." Because we always know where to find them anyway. Where we left them.
You've been there, done that. Yeah,
Is where you find them. So I'm there. What? So somehow, somewhere, in that couple of Derek saying, "Hey, I have to pick Pam, I have to get Pam," what? The father of, like I said before, I'm a mother. So the father of my child's dad dies. So I'm in the G's, in the den, in the ghetto, and I'm like, Panak. The dealer is the one who tells me, Panak, I've seen on Facebook, this man has Bambi passed away, someone has posted a picture of you, of me, on Facebook, which I had left a long time ago, on Facebook with a baby and this guy, and saying that guy's dad has died. So I said, "Show me the dealer." Because I didn't even have a phone, really.
God, imagine.
I know. So I'm looking and I'm like, Panage, Baba has passed on. Oh my goodness, this is so sad. I said I have to go to Luzera, because that's where they're living. I have to go to Luzera and at least pay my what? Meanwhile, I'm looking like
I can imagine.
All your problems.
But in my head, that's the insanity of it. In my head, I'm like, I'm the one. I'm the mother of the child, and this is Baba. I know. I'm looking like the behind of a bus from Kaval, which has bomb, chickens, dust, everything. So I tell the dealer that, you know what, you give me 5,000, I have to get a taxi and go. Even more money from the dealer. The dealer is like, when you come back, you're going to give me 10,000. He was so sure. I'm coming back.
Yeah,
he knows he knew his
that was where you were.
That's every time I think about that dealer, I'm like, that dealer had come and but when you come back, are you coming back?
No.
Were you really coming back? He was so
You
sure.
were never constant.
That's when I say, when I remembered in the rehab, I was like, these guys really have us. They have a grip on us, they know. Because he's like, when you come back, I'm getting 10K. I said, I'll even give you 20. Just give me. So he gave me. I walked slowly to the taxi. From the taxi, got into the taxi, reached Luzera, walked slowly inside Luzera, around the villas and the Lake Drive villas opposite. Entered the gate. There were many cars and what. So I reached there. What? So the father of my kid saw me from a distance. He came running and said, "You chick, are you serious? You can pass this side, pass this side, pass this side." So I'm like, "What? I have to see. I have to see. You've always hated me." Yeah, I said, "You've always hated me. I've come to pay respect to your dad, and then your dad just chasing me away. You're telling me, chi." He's like, "We shall talk about this later." So I reached there. I reached the room. Now, there were some clothes of mine that were still at that house. So he's like, "Take a shower, first style up yourself, put on these clothes, and then call me, and then I come and take you out." So I was like, but now, when I was with the dealer, I told the dealer, "I'm going into these people. I need something to calm my nerves down." Yeah. So he gave me a car joint. He gave me a car joint. Told me, "Boo, I've given you 5 count of the joint." So I was like, "Okay, car." So I'm there. I've showered. So now I'm getting nervous that I'm going to meet these people after a long time. So I light up. Somebody ended by insanity. Addiction. Yeah. I light up the joint. I'm there in the loo, in the bathroom, smoking, thinking, what? Then this guy comes, "Do you know what it is? Sprays. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, "Why are you shouting at me?" Then he's like, "You know what? You shouldn't have even have come." I'm like, "What have I done now? I'm always making mistakes. And he's like, "Anyway, your sisters are around." Now my sisters hadn't seen me in ages. And
like
now,
how many years are we talking?
Like 3?
3 years.
Yeah, 3. They hadn't seen me in ages. And then they're like, "Pananke, Pam, where have you been? What?" Oh, they hug me. I'm like, "Where have you been?" They're so excited. They're so happy. They're like, "Pana, your friend Derek is looking for you." I said, "Hey, he's here." "Yeah, he's looking for you." And I'm like, I was just like, "Guys, you're too much."
Yeah.
I got overwhelmed. I really, up to now, I still remember that feeling. I got so overwhelmed.
It's a mixture of
Meanwhile, I'm in
shame.
You know, you're in the bathroom. Then like 7 people are in the bathroom saying, "Oh my God, what?" I'm like, "You guys, don't be on my case like that." But when my sister told me after I was in recovery and all that, she's like, "You looked like a lost puppy. Lost puppy. But for you, the way you were acting, it's like as if you were like,
everyone else was
no, everybody else had a problem, and you were the one who was okay." I said, "Are you serious?" She's like, Maybe, and I even thought that maybe you're just not in your right senses. Then Albert, a father of my kids, he just told them that she has just been smoking weed. I think her head is not. Meanwhile, all these things are being said while I'm there. You think I could hear anything? No. So after that, they're like, let it get morning. You're not going anywhere. Let it get to morning, and then we see what we can do. So I was so tired. Like I told you, I was so sad. It's like I hadn't slept like for 10 years. So as soon as I put my head to sleep,
in a proper bed.
After a proper shower.
Yeah.
I slept. Then they woke me up at 10:30 with a bag packed, everything. We're taking you to what? to rehab.
I'm guessing this is where the rehab journey started.
So I'm like, you guys are, but yeah, yesterday you asked for help. I don't even remember.
You don't remember.
Yeah. Yesterday you asked for help, this, that, and the other, and this is where we are. There's no turning back. And then I said, but I have to give the other guy
It's 20K.
Insanity of it.
Yeah, I have to give the other guy. Then my sister might be so like, which girl? I said, there's a guy, 5K. He gave me 5K to come here, and I told him I'll give him 20. She's like, in our language, we look at him. It must be some random guy. Pamela, focus. And I'm like, no, you people, he's going to get angry with me, because the dealers had always instilled fear in all of us that if you don't pay, you won't get. You see, they had that if you don't pay, you won't get the thing that makes you If you don't pay, they won't give you.
So you were genuinely scared.
I was so scared. I was more scared of the dealer than my parents and my family members.
But also because he had the thing that was
keeping me captive. Yes. So I'm like, no, I have to what. So the father of my kid said, I'll take him the money. I said, you don't know him, we have to go there together. But no, you don't worry, I will give it to him. If he ever comes and tells you I didn't pay him, you will tell me. I was like, okay, fine. Because it was becoming a really big deal.
Yeah.
I said, okay, you know what? Fine. Meanwhile, now I'm a bit sober. But emotionally hard. I'm like this. I'm emotionally sick. My head might have been clear, but my heart was totally in shambles.
Yeah.
So, and that's where the body thing comes in. We might say that I can't use these things, but if you don't heal from inside, we're wasting time. We're wasting
and with
time.
That, with when you said you were in the sober mind, the haze had cleared, so everything you'd been suppressing came to the surface.
So everything we have to deal with comes. It's an inside job. It's a real inside job. Addiction is an inside job. That's why it's such an insane thing. Because people see the outside, but then the work has to be done inside.
And it can only be done by you.
And only be done by you. So now, even if my mom wanted to be the one to put herself in that place, there was no way she could have.
The thing of only you alone can walk this journey, but you don't have to walk it alone.
Exactly. And then that's where it becomes also a family disease, because now, because of her incapability of helping, she becomes sick also. Because she's like, I've tried everything. She starts bashing herself down, feeling, and then she also goes into depression, and then everybody around you. That's how insane this disease is. Because it starts with one person, but everyone around you who you care about falls sick. Because they're at work, they're thinking about you. They're at work, when the phone rings, they start to get scared.
Anxiety
Is this Laura? Is this Easy? Is this Pam?
Or is this someone telling me about them?
Even when they go like to maybe to the supermarket and they see an orgy of yours, they're like, yeah, that was Izzy's friend. How is Izzy? You go back into thought. You see, it becomes such a bad thing that it affects everybody. That's why even the society ends up getting affected, because that community that you're in also starts saying, let me lock my doors. This is passing, Pam is passing, let me lock my doors. So everybody starts worrying about this person, but they worry about the individual, not the disease. And the disease is what they're supposed to be worrying about. Society worries about that is that person. Or you're movie. Now they don't see that it is the disease. And the disease is what we have to deal with. Because the disease is what makes the person the way they are. So the stigma also comes in. And now when you're in rehab, they start to deal with you from the inside out. But the thing is, when you're going back home, you're dealing still with the people outside
Yeah.
who are, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but even our family members stigmatize us.
Yes.
They stigmatize us, the ones we rely on and the ones we feel like, oh, these are the ones, they stigmatize us. And one of my friends at the office was saying that you can't say that you're interested in my recovery. You've never attended, you never know, you don't even know what AA stands for. You don't even know why I'm buying a big book. You don't
to understand addiction in depth.
Yes, and then you start to hound me when I tell you I'm coming from a meeting, then you're like, you're back at that stuff, coming home late.
Yeah.
You see, it all comes down to, but you can't blame them because they were traumatic, they were traumatized,
and you went through therapy, they didn't.
Yeah.
You had 3 months in rehab.
Exactly.
They didn't.
But then they had the option too.
Yeah.
And
Which is where,
because they were so fed up.
Yeah.
The resentment is not only on our side, but on theirs. But they tell us to clean our own side, and then the rest was falling in place. But the thing is, the insanity that day that I saw, not only on my side but also on their side, was they were panicking to take me to rehab.
Yes.
Which they did. But now from rehab, who was going to do the work? That was where I was confused. Because I reached there and I'm like, so I'm here.
Are you okay sharing which rehab it was?
You don't have to, only what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's alright.
So I was like, I'm here. Now what? So you find people saying, they brought me here because of this, and everybody has their own story. So now you had to actually go back and look into yourself and say that, was I really gone? That's where the work really begins, because most people go to rehab and come out still the same.
Yeah, I've seen many people go in and
And
they're
even
not doing the work.
yeah,
but
some of
inside
them come back worse
with even way more resentments
than they went with.
Yeah.
Because I had to sit down. Personally, I sat down and I asked myself that, Pam, the way those guys looked at you that silver morning, because remember, I was clear-headed, but
your heart,
the way those guys looked at you, everybody was so scared,
so mortified.
You put them through, and yet for me, where I was in Chivulu, I thought they didn't care.
That's also the insanity of it,
Yes, I thought
because
I'm in it alone. Whatever. I could see my small sister's eyes full of tears. The father of my kids wondering what's wrong. And all I could tell them is that I have to pay that guy. I have to pay that guy.
Addiction.
I have to pay that guy. I kept telling them I have to pay that guy. Up to today, I'm okay at that, but sometimes when we are chilling at on Christmas and the whole family comes together, then every one of them says, "Yeah, did you ever pay that guy?" And I laugh and I'm like, "But you guys, you have to forgive me." But I don't even remember that guy. I would remember.
And that it was 20K, really.
I know, and everybody keeps telling me, but Pam, that guy. See, but that guy was more than 20K. He must have been something else, and I'm like, just chill.
He had it in choco.
Because I insisted on that guy.
For you, that was the priority.
I think was it even to pay the guy? I just wanted to go back and use and get high to get this thing off. So that's the insanity. I was clinging on something. Because even, you think I would have reached the ghetto and given that guy the money?
No.
I would have just told him, just add me something small.
But the insanity in your brain told you that they would be accepting of you having to pay a debt. But the real reality for you knew at a subconscious level that it was to return back and get that thing to numb the feelings that had now come to the surface. Your shattered heart.
Pam, so did rehab work for you?
Yes, it did. It did work. Rehab did work.
Was it the turning point in your life?
Yes, it was. It was the turning point. But you see, rehab only gives you a safe place. It gives you a safe place for you to sit back and reflect. So, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but there are some people who need to go to rehab. But then there are some people who can just sit down and be in a quiet place and think about their lives and actually get back on track.
Yeah.
And then look for the support. The most important thing is the support system.
There's some people who just, maybe something happens that gets them to really reflect, right, on their lives. And then if they've got that support or people around them that can now take them into the program,
Yes.
that's the support we're talking about. And then they start the recovery journey from there.
But
so
finding
rehab
those
is not
people,
a mandatory part.
No, it's not.
Of this
It's
journey.
not.
It's
It
just
is
part of
not.
your story. It's part of mine. It's part of hers.
Yes, it's not a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
But because the family that is supporting you also doesn't know how to handle you,
Yes.
they feel like, and they have also, then they have a system they are used to. Let's take her here. You're not getting a job, take her to London to do another course. So there are people who have degree upon degree upon degree upon degree because every time you come
Because the family just puts you into something else. I think that's
they
the
don't want to
solution.
be responsible.
Yeah, it's like let's make you
But
let's
it's
make
also
you
based on fear.
Yeah.
Because
Of course.
there,
Let's
at
make
least
you
you're
a
locked
little
up.
bit of a person.
Yes.
You will not end up back with that 20K guy. You get in that situation.
I feel some people
Locked up,
it is the only option. Like it's a last resort. Other things have been tried, and
Yes.
they now have to finally try the rehab route to see if that will also work.
Yes.
But but it's not mandatory.
It's not mandatory, and another thing is, but it's a good way to start.
Yeah.
It's not mandatory, but it is a good way to start, so that you cut off from old associations
Yes.
and make new associations with these people,
Yeah.
because now there you're surrounded with different kinds of like-minded people. We are all on one goal to look for sobriety, to look for recovery, to look for a new way of life.
Yes.
And that's why it worked for me, because I was so stuck with my old friends. First of all, I remember I had resentment for the ones who had dropped me. So I didn't know how I'm going to reconnect with those ones if I don't find a new way of life.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, that when I came into recovery and I've gotten all these new associations, it's not like we're bosom buddies, but we have something in common that is stronger
Yes.
than anything. Then when I go back and I find my friends who I used to call bosom buddies, we can relate, but it will never be the
just never
same.
be the
Yeah,
same.
there's
It will
just
never be the same.
the bond that is formed in the fellowship,
Yes.
or in rehab or in recovery. The bond that is formed, basically the trauma bonding, is very deep and very special, because no one can understand your journey. No one can understand you once you're in recovery, like another person in recovery.
Apart from a fellow addict.
Yeah, apart from a fellow addict,
Who
because
has actually gone through
that insanity.
journey.
Because how do you explain it? You can
There's something
explain
you
it
can't
all you
explain.
want with all the words in the world, but how do you really?
You see, like we understand the 20K guy. You don't have to even over-explain it. We've been in situations like that. We totally understand it. But why your family then keeps bringing it up is like
They
it's
still
like,
don't
what?
get it.
Like that situation is so serious.
As in this,
And you're talking about 20, and I'm sure some of them said 20 or 200.
Yeah.
it was just so
Okay,
random.
we get
It was a random thing that even, and that's where you see, if at all I slip back into addiction, active addiction, God forbid, and I start, and I start that, pass me a 5K. That's where they will go that, she has started like a 20K guy. And that's their red flag.
Yeah.
And it's theirs.
Yeah.
It's theirs. And even when they joke about it, it's theirs. It's a reminder to me that, Pam, move forward. Move forward.
Yeah.
Move forward.
I remember
Because
in rehab, I shared that one of the things that started to happen that made me realize that things were getting out of hand is that I would be that person who at midnight in a bar, I'm texting someone saying, please send me 50K, please send me a 40K, please send me this. Do you know, like that, like that's when, things had totally gotten out of hand. Where you're in an Uber, but you're texting people to send you 12K for that Uber. Do you get? And this was someone who, like, I was earning, I had a running business, but just the chaos of it all, the insanity of it.
And
You know,
it's-
and at that point, I didn't see it, of course.
No,
No,
you
but of course,
couldn't.
in that calmness of rehab, when now you're being forced to reflect back and they're making you write all these things.
Yeah.
My God, you look and like, damn it, I was that person, you know. So let's get back to your story. Your story from rehab to something Meadows,
Sunflower Meadows.
Oh God, that name is so
Sunflower
beautiful.
Meadows care.
Yeah, so from rehab to Sunflower Meadows, like basically that journey.
So that journey now, after rehab,
Yeah.
I was like, nah, this can't be people's story. This can't be people's life. So I enrolled to go and do psychology, a postgraduate
Nice.
course in India. So I went to India. I did 3 years in India.
Oh wow, a master's.
No, a postgrad.
Yeah. Okay.
A postgrad. So I did that in India, and I was in South India, where it's a Christian state, and they have a ban on alcohol.
Really?
Yeah. They have a ban
Is
on
it
alcohol.
respected? Like
No
there's
liquor
no-
stores, no nothing. If you have
Interesting.
liquor, you've and they find you for throwing those parties of yours, they arrest you. So I went there, and I wanted to know, how do they put a whole state
Right.
under a ban of no selling liquor? And that was amazing. And yet, just next to Kerala state, there's Goa,
which is
which
literally-
is full of
which is literally
The party
Gomorrah.
every kind of thing is
Everything
there.
is there.
So everybody who would come to our state, to our university, and wants to because our university had a connection to a rehabilitation center. So while you're studying, you're doing case studies of these guys. So it was quite an amazing setup.
Yeah.
So you look, and most of the guys, they're like, yeah, I came for holiday in Goa and I failed to leave.
Yeah.
But I came for 2 weeks and I failed to leave from UK.
Yeah.
But I came for holiday, I failed to leave. I've been here for 3 years. I've been here for 2 years.
As an addiction, like
Addiction,
Yeah.
not them.
Yeah.
Chivulo situation.
Yes, now there's the Goa situation.
Yeah.
Not the Chibulu situation,
Yeah.
there's the Goa situation. And in my head, I'm like relating, and I'm like, you guys, it's real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really.
Then they're
Like when I asked you when you had last seen your sisters, 3 years, guys. 3 years is how many months? That's 36 months. That's a long time.
So these guys in India, there was a chick. She said that Kwigamba, even she doesn't check her emails anymore. She doesn't know. She was from Canada. She came to have a holiday with friends, and she got stuck. She did some hardcore drugs. There's a drug in India called it's Guthsani. It's a mixture of crack cocaine and heroin and some other brown stuff that
Sounds very
it's called smart. They mix it up and then they inject themselves, and it gives you the high that. So she got stuck. No money. She was sleeping on the streets. What? Canada.
So someone who probably had a job back home.
A family.
She came
A
for
family.
holiday and then ended up
Can you
living on the
imagine?
street.
And she kept calling them, please send me this. Oh, they've stolen my money for ticket. They've stolen my I can't Till the parents said, well, why? When you're ready to come, you'll make your way.
Yeah.
We're not sending you ticket money anymore.
Yeah.
And she just sat. And she was now in this place. And she's like, she had all these pricks on her hand. She had been slept with, raped and what. And I was like, man.
The insanity of addiction.
She had to survive.
It was about her next fix,
Yeah.
nothing else mattered.
So I was like, so I work with her. She's called Christy. I worked with her. I really told her everything I knew. And she's like, so by the time I was leaving, she had at least started to develop. So the sometimes back, and then she sends me an email saying, I'm back in Canada, what? But you know what? So I tell her, there are some meetings, you can do meetings. Because she was like, I'm so ashamed. It's not only in Africa, by the way, that we get ashamed to join a meeting.
No, the stigma with addiction is global. It's not yet. It's a stigma.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it hasn't gone away.
Because she's like, but I can't find myself to enter those rooms. I said, girl, you better enter those rooms. First of all, you're in Canada, and back home. Those people don't know what you went through. If you don't enter the rooms, you're going to find it. Now, the problems that you faced in India you're going to face the same thing, even worse in Canada, because at least there you can network. You go from house to house to house till your parents say, why is this girl a menace? So it's better you had it this side where no one knew you. So you still have a reputation. So you can do it anonymously.
Yeah, so guys, because this is Addiction Unfiltered and demystifying addiction, the rooms these are places where people like us, recovering addicts, recovering alcoholics, go to find support. Those are the rooms where we go, hi, my name is Laura and I'm a recovering alcoholic. And then we follow a program, that helps us stay in recovery. So that's what the rooms are. And
then we help each other grow in our recovery. We have 1 hour every meeting. It's 1 hour. Share with that 1 hour. If you want to meet somebody after the meeting, you can meet and talk about more about your recovery and your situation. But most people keep the strict 1 hour a day. Which is not a lot to ask a loved one to sacrifice for you to stay clean. But some families and some husbands don't want to give you that 1 hour.
And there's online options as well. So all of this can, if you Google, you'll find.
Yes. So that's the whole thing, because and I love what you're doing here, because it's not only for us or the people filming us today, but even those ones we are not they don't know us physically, but they are listening and saying, so I can really find help here. I can really find one
my loved one can find.
My loved one can find.
I literally keep saying, if we touch one soul, save one person, for them not to repeat our stories in our lives, God's happy, I'm happy,
and everybody else is happy. Because it's so sad to be there and you're all alone. Because I was in Chibulo and I was all alone.
It's a very isolating disease. Like the mind convinces you, right? Or that's why it's a mental illness, that you are alone in this, nobody cares about you. That's why you said you were really shocked when you saw the look on your family's faces. Like, if these guys actually care. Of course they do, but it wasn't obvious to you.
You convinced yourself that they don't.
I was like, really? These
guys? These dealers that you get stuck with, of course I'm sure they keep saying.
They reinforce that.
Make you feel like they are who, you
they're
need.
Your
they're
only
the ones who care
person,
about you and things like that. So,
and they also tell us to help us forgive those dealers and all those people is and I'm going to tell you something funny. You have to see them as sick, or else you will not forgive those guys. By the way, you will always hold them accountable for what they did to you until you start to see that you are also sick. And they are also sick, because no one can do that to another human being and actually live proper. So you said cut funding for, there's a MAT program at Botanical Hospital. MAT is Methadol. It's Methadol. It helps with prevention of it gives you an easier, softer way to wean off. You don't have to go to rehab. You can just go and do that MAT program. It's free. It's at Botanical Hospital. So the USAID was sponsoring it, and then they kind of cut it short when Trump did what he did. And so there was an influx of addicts.
What I was taught about it in rehab was it's usually recommended for people who have, let's say, tried this and they keep relapsing, either because they've got some mental health issues, or they've just they keep
Okay.
relapsing. Like, you can't keep going to rehab forever. You can't keep, then they try that. Like, that's what we were taught. But I know that there's now more and more people opting for that.
Yes.
Right?
Because it's something, apparently it also gives you a kind of a high or something like that. So they went to the Kampala Youth Recovery Center in Mutungo. So they called me up. The CEO calls me and says, Pam, please come and help. There are so many people who need help because of this mat thingy, and you can get them off mat and give them a cleaner way of recovery. So I go there and I meet these guys of Chivru. But you know what, Izzy? I first got pissed because of the way, it just brought back memories of that. How couldn't you be there to help me? But now I'm here, and you're asking me to help. Yet you guys are the ones giving me this, they told me the dealer died, and of course they are giving me all this.
Just because you're in recovery and healing doesn't mean you don't still have human emotion.
Exactly.
The pain was there still.
So I had to call my sponsor. No, you guys tell me what your sponsor is.
Tell them.
I had to call my sponsor and go through these emotions.
Yeah.
And I hadn't known that as much as we can be in recovery, we still have resentments towards things that happened to us in that traumatic experience that time.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
It's a continuous process.
Yes,
It's not
a
linear,
continuous
it's not
process.
perfect.
Because I was like, they were all saying, hey, oh, you look good. Wanange, you see, we have been in it, we are still in it. And these are years that I've not been in touch with them, and I was looking and I was like, you guys are still in it. And I just didn't want to be like, you can always also feel like that you're better than them, yet you actually like them. So it was just a whole lot of emotions going up and down, and I was like, let this insanity not come back into my mind. And I think that, since I did it, I'm better than these guys.
And that's
because
what the program teaches us, because it keeps us humble, like that humility, like to keep remembering. There's a reason why we keep saying, hi, my name is Laura and I'm recovering.
Recovering, you're not recovered. There's no
You're
such
not
thing.
recovered.
You're in recovery.
You're in recovery.
Yeah.
It's a continuous process. So,
And you know what I did?
yeah.
To get myself, after speaking to my sponsor, and to get myself to have a clear mind while helping these guys, I sat the whole group, 25 women and men, and I told them that, you know what, some of you guys were with me that time, but I'm asking you to forgive me. If in case anytime I took your 1,000 or I made you feel some kind of way in that situation at that time, please just forgive me and let's this go. Let's start a new slate. Because I knew if I don't ask for forgiveness, I will not be able to forgive them. Because I was really, they took 3 years of my life. Every day I was with these guys. And it's not really them, it's basically me, but I was like, So I had to ask them to forgive me and we move on. And after that we prayed together, and then we said, okay, this and that. Then they were like, bunafe tusaside, munaitwa kuisa bubi, olusi twatwalanga sente zo. All things that I even hadn't paid much attention to, and they were coming out telling me all these things, and I was like, now I can work. And that's when I said recovery is real. Because without it
Gives you the tools.
I would have been using my own energy and thinking that these guys are not getting it.
The way you react, it changes how you react.
Yes, it totally changes how you react. And as we continue speaking about this insanity, that's how insane this thing is. After long periods of time you've not been using, you've been working in recovery, helping another, a situation brings you back to that place where you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, who are you? Look at the man in the mirror and say, who is this? Are you really the person who you say you are? Or it's just a facade of you saying that I'm in recovery, I want to keep up with appearances. Because remember, I have to remind myself that I was so yearning to be loved and belonged. Am I clinging to AA as something that I'm holding on to?
Yeah.
And in case I'm in like Iceland and there's no AA, will I collapse?
Yeah.
I have to be able to know what it is that actually keeps me clean and sober.
Yeah.
Because AA is just another tool.
Yeah. Yep. And now on to
Sunflower Meadows.
You know, imagine from the ghetto of Makere Chivu to Sunflower Meadows helping so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's what I love about your story.
So I dream and dream and dream, and so one day I'm there and my cousin is like, but Pam, you do so much work for people, you're always doing this at this rehab, doing this at this rehab, you have not accumulated enough, you haven't accumulated a profile enough to be able to start your own thing. And of course the fear comes in again.
Doubt.
Yeah.
Being an addict is not easy because you're like, in case it doesn't work, people will laugh at
Am I ready
me.
to put myself out
People
there
will say that, am I ready to actually be there to share my story?
Yes. Am I good enough? Who am I?
Who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? And you know, God kept preparing me in unknowing ways, that putting me on podcasts, allowing me to come here and saying that you need to start to tell people who you actually are.
Yes.
So that they don't think that you're doing this because you're just looking out for the money. You're actually doing this because you have an invested interest in it.
It's your calling. It's your purpose.
It's who you are. You want to help people. You want to get people out of that rut. So I started it. And I registered it.
Congratulations.
Yes,
I really love the name.
I did the graphics and everything, and it really looks nice. I have an office in Gayaza. So yeah. And,
so what is it? What is it? What is Sunflower Meadows?
Sunflower Meadows is a hub, a consultancy. It's a kind of a hub where you come. I'm a primary counselor. I tend to be I specialize in addiction, but generally I'm a primary counselor. So I receive you and I do the initial orientation of counseling. Most people don't know what counseling is. So I ease you in, I build the rapport, and I help you identify areas in your life where you feel like, I need counseling in here, I need counseling here, and what. Then I allocate you to specific specialized people who can walk alongside you through all these journeys until you reach your desired goal.
Yes.
So that's what I do at my hub. Yeah. Okay. So I get you, work with you, put you in clear thinking, and so that you know what you want, so that you don't be this kind of person who comes into counseling, you try this counselor, then say, this one didn't do for me, this one didn't do for me, this one didn't do for me. Because most of us, we went into counseling not knowing what it was.
Yes.
So we had one counselor who helped us deal with relationships with parents. Then we had to leave that one, and opening up yourself to everybody. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah.
So Pam, what would you tell a lady out there? You know, we're trying to really speak to that woman, that lady struggling with addiction, right? That lady, but also their family, right? So actually, let's speak to like a sister of someone, like one of your sisters. What would you want to tell them? You know, because based on your experience, I'm sure there's certain hurtful things that were said or done, or things that could have been done differently. What would you want them to, like, what can you think of? What can you tell them?
I would say that be open-minded. Be very open-minded and think deeply about why these people are saying these things. Because I never got a chance to think deeply. I thought I was being targeted. I thought they just didn't want me to be. But if you think deeply, to that young person out there, think deeply that nothing in life happens by mistake, first of all. And think, why is Izzy saying that I'm over flirtatious?
Yeah.
Don't take things personal.
Yeah. What is it that I'm doing? What is it about my behavior?
And if you find out, investigate. And if you find out that, Izzy's just like that, let it go. But if you find out that, why are they saying that I'm drinking too much? Why are they saying I'm oversensitive? Why are they saying I'm acting this way and that way? Sit back, and if you can, find somebody to talk to and ask them. Bounce off ideas that, am I really oversensitive? Ask people about yourself. Because you can't know everything. Because if I had asked people about myself when I was still in Makerere College, they would have told me, yeah, Pam, the thing with you, you want to be in a certain group of class, and then you need to take things slowly. You need to do this. Because there are people, there are friends out there who are willing to actually help you grow.
Yes.
Not everybody, and we need to understand, not everybody's out to get you.
Yeah.
Of course, me and you will be like, well, there's no love in this world, but then...
Yeah. I'm like, some are, but not everybody is.
But you can find...
And your spirit can tell. Your spirit can tell.
Because now you find somebody, and you come and, you find somebody and you sit down and you're like, hi, how are you? I'm fine. How is everything? I'm having a bad day. And you just suggest that, oh, by the way, I used to have bad days, but this is what I did. Share information, because we are in this together. There are so many people committing suicide because they don't have anybody asking them how are they.
Yes.
So I would really, really, really I'd caution, and I'll ask these young ladies to reflect and deep think about yourself. Spend time thinking about yourself and what you did. Sit with you and think about yourself. Reflect, redeem the time, and say, okay, today my guy said that I was snapping at him.
Or he's always complaining that I'm quick to anger.
I'm quick to anger. And then go back and work on yourself.
If you
figure out,
this could be a third boyfriend saying that,
And it's not for him. It's for you.
It's for you. I'm quick to anger. What does that mean about me?
Yeah, it's for you. Because that will also determine your relationship with your higher power, with God. Me, God is my higher power. Because if I can react, if I'm quick to anger with a human being, then that means even when I'm talking to my higher power, I'm always saying, okay, God, now you're not giving me this already. Today I'm going to put the Bible this side. I'm not reading it today. You see, because everything we do here on earth reflects on our relationship in our spirit world.
Yes.
Me, that's what I believe.
That's what you believe.
That's what I believe. Because the way I treat Laura will be the same way I will be able to treat. Because it's Laura I see. So if Laura is smiling, I know God is smiling upon me, and we're smiling together. But if Laura is always saying, and I get I'll be like, God is really.
So we could go on and on and on, because first of all, imagine how long, we all have these long journeys. Our stories are really long, but unfortunately we have to summarize. But the good thing is that you've set up Sunflower Meadows, and people now have a place to find you for counseling or just guidance, and we'll put all this information in the caption, right? You'll share all that with us, so people can actually reach out to you. And it brings me back to why we did this. The Addiction Unfiltered is to just spark these conversations, like what you're saying, like people to be able to reflect. The previous episodes we've done are on literally taking people through the journey car, like seeing where you're able to even show where you are, describing what addiction is, like now in this case the insanity of it. So we understand more, we judge less, we just stop sweeping things under the rug until things are way worse. So
and also to add on to what you're saying is that don't look at me and say, you mean she can also be an addict? Because that is one of the things that you dismiss someone's feelings. Because someone comes to you and says, I'm drinking too much. Like, really?
You.
Because most friends do that. They're like, no, you have it under control. You can't be drinking
It's just
too
because
much.
you just started that job.
But
you're
by the time
anxious
I've
or
come
whatever.
to tell you that I
Yeah.
think I'm drinking too much, it's a serious issue.
Yes.
And we need to address it.
Yes.
Or else you will be coming to visit me in rehab.
In rehab,
That's
yes.
the truth.
Or you
I'm
hear that I
saying all the
went.
things
I'm
that
saying
I heard
that-
from a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we didn't realize how bad it was. We thought, yeah, that day,
Yeah.
you were just a bit too hyper, or you were
Yeah.
celebrating something, or you were sad about something, whatever it is.
Yes.
But now, guys, we can't keep saying we don't know.
No.
What is it? We can't be Saturdays.
Yeah.
We are here
Taking
trying to
us out.
demystify everything, have these conversations, listen to stories from different people like
Yeah.
Pam here. So it's not just ours, but
Yeah.
yours as well.
Addiction
So-
doesn't discriminate. Addiction has different faces. You cannot determine an addict by just looking at them, but that's what we're doing here. We're demystifying it for you, and we're approaching it from every angle that we can possibly think of.
Yeah.
Through our own experiences. Yeah. So thank you for coming on our show, Pam. Thank you for sharing so openly. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We really hope that the audience has loved this as much as we have, engages with it. Please like, share, subscribe on all the different platforms. Keep following for more information. And as always, if you have any question, any concern, any story to share, please DM us on our Instagram page or on TikTok. If you want it to be anonymous, if you want to comment and don't mind it being public, please leave the comments on the YouTube channel. We really want to be able to interact with you in that way and to offer any help that we can. We will try to direct you to the right people when we can, and when we can't, we shall open it up to others who might know more.
Yeah.
So like, share, subscribe, and thank you for joining us on this episode of the
Thank you,
Unfiltered Show.
Thank you. Bye.
Till next time.